What if I told you one of YouTube's most successful creators is successful because he ignores the most fundamental rule of the internet? In a world of short, simple, and rapid content, former NASA engineer Mark Rober only makes videos that are monumentally complex and take months to build. He solves problems that don't even need solving, and against all logic, millions are obsessed with it. Before he was a YouTube star, Mark Rober spent nearly a decade as an engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, designing hardware for the Mars Curiosity rover. It was a dream job, but he felt constrained by the bureaucracy and glacial timelines. He craved a direct outlet where his creativity didn't require a mountain of government paperwork. That spark led him to experiment with video, starting with simple, fun projects in his garage. His first viral hit was a brilliantly simple Halloween costume, 2 iPads creating a seamless, real-time illusion of a hole through his torso. The video exploded overnight. In that moment, Rober realized his engineering skills weren't just for interplanetary robots. They could entertain, inspire, and teach millions directly from his workshop. But this is where his NASA-honed mindset took over. He wasn't interested in vlogs or casual content. Instead, he treated every video like an engineering project, a mission with a clear objective, a prototype phase, and rigorous testing. And that's why he was physically incapable of making a normal video. Each upload had to be an experiment, a spectacle, or an everyday problem solved with a twist of over-engineering genius. Most creators start small. A vlog here, a reaction there. But for an engineer like Mark Rober, his entry point was anything but ordinary. Fresh off building spacecraft for NASA, he posted a deceptively simple Halloween hack, a t-shirt with 2 iPads creating a seamless, real-time illusion of a hole through his chest. It wasn't a vlog, it was an applied engineering project. And it exploded, amassing millions of views almost overnight. That viral hit taught Mark a crucial lesson. The audience wasn't just looking for entertainment, they craved authentic wonder, the kind that sparks when real science and creativity collide. This was the perfect fusion of his NASA training and his pent-up creative impulse. He realized he couldn't just pick up a camera and talk. His engineer's brain demanded a higher-order function. Every idea needed a hypothesis, every build required rigorous testing, and every video had to be executed with mission-grade precision. From that moment on, a normal video was logically impossible. His channel would become a public laboratory for increasingly ambitious experiments, from giant jello pools to glitter bombs engineered with the exacting standards of a Mars rover. That first spark wasn't just a lucky break. It was the moment Mark discovered his immutable law of YouTube physics. The only way he could exist on the platform was by being fundamentally, ingeniously different. And once that truth locked in, there was no going back. Empowered by his viral validation, Mark Rober didn't just join YouTube, he re-engineered it. While others vlogged, he prototyped. His channel skyrocketed, amassing millions of subscribers drawn to a completely new genre of content. This was the rise of the ultimate engineer creator. He delivered a staggering variety of spectacle, from a fully functional, articulated scorpion tail costume to the world's largest super soaker, built from a fire truck. He turned backyards into laboratories, tackling absurd questions with scientific rigor. What happens if you fill a pool with jello? Can you build a perfect sled for fresh powder? Each video was a masterclass in applied physics, meticulously documented from hypothesis to explosive conclusion. But true to his nature, Rober couldn't just replicate success, he had to escalate it. The projects grew more complex, the stakes higher. He became a real-life superhero for the curious, a Tony Stark of YouTube, whose superpower was the relentless application of the scientific method. His value proposition was undeniable. He made the authentic joy of creation and discovery accessible to all. He had proven that his unique, engineering-first approach wasn't just a gimmick, it was a revolution. But operating at this relentless, monumental scale was unsustainable. The very mindset that fueled his meteoric rise was about to meet its greatest test. For a while, it seemed unstoppable. Every upload was bigger, smarter, and more viral than the last. But this kind of meteoric success always creates its own gravity, and for Mark Rober, the very engine of his creativity began to show its inherent flaws. Unlike creators who could pivot to a quick vlog, Mark was shackled to his own brand of spectacle. Each video demanded months of R&D, prototyping, and painstaking execution. And as his audience ballooned into the tens of millions, so did the expectations. The audience wasn't just waiting for a new video, they were waiting for a masterpiece that defied physics itself. This spawned a new engineering problem, creative sustainability. The algorithm craved consistency, but his process demanded obsession. A pool of jello was incredible. But what followed that? A glitter bomb trilogy? Each sequel had to be more complex, more ingenious, and more satisfying than the last. The bar wasn't just rising, it was becoming a ceiling. The trap was set. YouTube's system rewards frequent uploads, but robust content was inherently slow. He was now racing against time, the algorithm, and a wave of imitators, all while refusing to compromise the quality that built his name. For years, this tension simmered beneath the spectacular surface. He was still the guy who couldn't make a normal video, but that identity now carried a hidden cost. Every launch was a high-stakes gamble. Could he yet again reinvent spectacular invention? Or would the very formula that built his empire become the constraint that limited it? Most creators would have buckled under the pressure. The relentless mandate to be bigger and more viral is intense. But Mark Rober, true to form, didn't break. He reverse-engineered a solution. His secret weapon? Iteration. The glitter bomb is the perfect case study. What began as a vengeful prank on porch pirates evolved into a beloved annual engineering showcase. Each version was a systematic upgrade, integrating GPS tracking, quadrupling the fart spray payload, and refining the covert camera work. He proved that the journey of perfecting an idea could be more thrilling than the initial reveal. Next, he leveraged collaboration. He teamed up with MrBeast to plant 20 million trees, merging his engineering mind with the largest fundraising platform on YouTube. He partnered with other scientists to launch charity drives, transforming spectacle into genuine global impact. He was scaling his creativity without sacrificing its soul. But the true pivot was deeper. Mark redefined his own not normal the mandate. It was no longer just about the scale of the build, but the depth of the story. He realized his audience didn't just want stunts, they wanted a guide who could demystify the impossible. They trusted him to not just show them wonder, but to show them how to build it themselves. By mastering iteration, collaboration, and purpose, Mark Rober didn't escape the trap of his own success, he weaponized it. He proved that when the formula seems broken, a true engineer doesn't abandon it, they debug it. And in doing so, the man who couldn't make a normal video once again redefined what was possible. Mark Rober wasn't just a YouTuber anymore, he was a cultural phenomenon. His uploads became global events, dissected in classrooms and trending for days. His subscriber count soared past 45 million, but the numbers were just a symptom of a deeper impact. The true climax of his journey wasn't a single stunt. It was how he systematically rewrote the blueprint of online creation itself. In an ecosystem ruled by the relentless churn of weekly content, Mark flipped the script. He released just a handful of videos a year, each one so meticulously polished, so wildly inventive, that it didn't just beat the algorithm, it bent it to his will. Think about that, he proved that obsessive quality could utterly dwarf quantity. A video wasn't just a video, it was an event. The launch of a new glitter bomb was a moment of collective justice. Building the world's largest Nerf gun was a celebration of engineered childhood wonder. He demonstrated that a methodical engineering mindset wasn't a niche interest, it was a superpower capable of commanding the internet's attention. And the mission evolved. It was no longer about pranking porch pirates or building squirrel mazes. It was about planting 20 million trees, raising tens of millions for charity, and inspiring the next generation of engineers. Mark had turned his channel into a launchpad for real-world change. This was the apex. A NASA engineer who became a digital icon. A science communicator who made experiments feel like summer blockbusters. And the ultimate proof that you don't need to make a normal video to not only succeed but to change the world. At the peak of his influence, Mark Rober had achieved more than viral fame. He had executed a perfect system hack. By proving a creator could post a mere handful of times a year and still command global attention, he didn't just play by YouTube's rules, he wrote a new set. The platform's definition of success was no longer just consistency, it was cultural weight. But the true result was measured in trust, not traffic. Mark became one of the internet's most trusted voices for science. Parents didn't just allow his videos, they encouraged them. Teachers integrated them into lesson plans. Universities saw them as a masterclass in making STEM irresistibly engaging. He had built a rare bridge between entertainment and education. His impact generated real-world ripple effects. His collaborations with MrBeast mobilized millions to plant tens of millions of trees and fund ocean cleanups. He had transcended content creation, he was now orchestrating global action, turning viewers into a force for tangible good. Most fascinatingly, he permanently expanded the definition of a YouTuber. He wasn't a gamer or a vlogger. He was an engineer in a garage, making rigorous science feel like the coolest show on Earth. In a digital landscape chasing viral trends, Mark built an empire on the timeless foundation of human curiosity. The final result of Mark Rober's defiantly abnormal path was undeniable. He was never constrained by the algorithm, by genre, or by the very title of creator. He had transcended it all to become something rarer, a true ambassador for curiosity, a champion of science, and a perpetual source of joy. When the dust settles, Mark Rober's legacy isn't measured in subscriber counts or ad revenue. It's measured in something far more valuable: inspired potential. He showed a generation of kids that science isn't a boring subject, it's a superpower. He reminded adults that curiosity is ageless, and that creative problem-solving can be as thrilling as it is useful. Ultimately, Mark's legacy is living proof that deep engineering and compelling storytelling aren't just compatible, they're explosive when combined. He demonstrated that a visionary from NASA and Apple could leave billion-dollar labs and find an even larger audience by teaching in his garage. In doing so, he blasted open a new trajectory for creators, ones who don't aspire to be your normal YouTubers, but who want to use the platform as a launchpad for genuine wonder. His impact also redefined the creator's craft itself. Mark reinvented consistency. Not as frantic weekly uploads, but as an ironclad promise every release would be an event worth the wait. That sacred trust between creator and audience is priceless, and it's the reason his videos shatter the algorithm years after they're posted. Perhaps his most enduring legacy is the real-world action he sparked. From planting millions of trees and cleaning our oceans to raising global awareness for autism science, Mark Rober proved a YouTube channel could be more than a source of entertainment. It could be the engine of a movement. So when we call him the YouTuber who couldn't make a normal video, it's more than a catchy title, it's the core thesis of his career. He built an empire on the extraordinary. And in the process, he didn't just change the platform, he changed how millions of people see the very nature of creativity, science, and their own ability to make a difference.